One of the recent innovations in cybersecurity is zero trust.
Yeah.
And that name, for people who are not experts in this field, immediately raises a question, at least it does for me, is can a zero trust network be trusted?
So I guess the name in Zero Trust itself identifies that the network can be trusted. Now, one of the things, oh, well, the network cannot be trusted, sorry, because it's zero trust. Trust no one, trust nothing. Don't trust the transmission network, don't trust the data center environment, encrypt. One of the things I'll argue is a lot of the things we have, or what people are imagining, are the same things we've had 25 years ago. And the InfoSec doctrine has pretty much been the same. Encrypt your data. Will you shout the password of your bank account details to your partner across the street in a park? Probably not. So again, zero trust. That same model, you encrypt all communications from your device to the server. Again, would you bank with a bank that doesn't have a government stamp, is an FDIC, over in the States, is an FDIC backed and all that? You wouldn't, because you know they don't have the right standards. So what zero trust has tried to do is cut through the technical jargon and really tell people simply, you can't trust anything. Now, arguably, most of us are already using zero trust. If you use Gmail on your Mac and you're browsing it, then it's zero trust because there's no data on the Mac. You're using it in a browser. Google authenticates you. So I think there's still it can be trusted and it needs to be understood in terms of what are you trusting it and what for. Because likewise, if I look at, I know most of your members are sort of American companies. So if I use American terms, if you look at the DoD and top secret information, you will have for your eyes only written down on a piece of paper in a room that you have to go and physically see the documents. You can't take it out. You get searched. You leave your devices. So again, as much as there's zero trust, as technology goes, you have to know what you're trusting it to do. Firstly, you need to know what you're trusting that network for, what you're not trusting it for. So what's that traffic? What's the value of that process? Then you need to understand what threats are you protecting it against. So if you look at zero trust, for example, on BYOD, bring your own device, the simplest example possible, you've got everybody wanting to use their own tools to do their own work. A bit like if you bring in a painter to your house, you're not really going to give them the brushes because they know the brand they like for whatever reason, and that's what you're paying them for. So the way I see it is you've got to understand the criticality and how you enable it. So say, for example, you've got a reception role of someone just picking up phones at the reception. They can use zero trust right away because it's probably a call system that gives them the phone and Outlook web-based email. Whereas if you've got someone processing heavy video files, editing, then it's different because you have to create trust on one point. Maybe that's their laptop because you can't process video content yet seamlessly in the cloud due to the delay and audio sync. So it's looking at what business process do you automate in zero trust and how can you cut through the noise? Because effectively it's just guaranteeing that, right, I don't trust this path and I have encryption so no one can overhear my conversation when it's in motion on the server. I'm sure that Microsoft is taking care of OneDrive if that's the responsibility model and you're using a managed service, and no one will get in there. And guess what? I don't really care what the device the employee is using, which is fine because then what that then means is they can't download any data to that device. Where your use case changes, then you need to trust something because working for critical telco providers, I know for a fact some of the sites do not have 4G, do not have 5G, and satellite costs are still prohibitive. So there's still that offline element, especially in our industry as well.